This is Go With Us, and we're about to knock down Timburr Community Day. This Community Day is one of the best we've seen all year, and the reason why is the potential of this Pokemon. So let's quickly break down the details of this featured Community Day Pokemon, Timburr. Timburr is a fighting type Pokemon originating from the Unova region. Timburr evolves into Gurdurr and finally into Conkeldurr, which is a fantastic fighting type Pokemon, and we're gonna break it down in a little bit. Let's run through the details really quickly. The Community Day will be happening this weekend on Sunday, the 15th of October from 2 to 5 p.m. local time, and the bonuses are gonna be as follows. It's gonna be 3 times Catch Stardust for catching Pokemon. We're gonna have 3-hour incense. We're gonna have 3-hour lure modules. Of course, that does not include the golden lure. We're gonna have increased spawns of Timburr, and of course that shiny rate is gonna be boosted, where it's gonna be 1 in 25 to get that shiny Timburr. There's gonna be 2 times the likelihood of getting XL candies for trainers level 31 and up. We're gonna be able to take a total of 5 snapshots to get a surprise encounter with, of course, Timburr. We're gonna be photobombed by Timburr during that time frame. We're also gonna be able to do 1 special trade on this day, which takes us to a total of 2. Please do not sleep on this. I've seen some trainers get some awesome results in the past, and trades in that time frame are also going to cost 50% less Stardust. There's going to be field research tasks, which is of course focused on the Community Day Pokemon, which is going to be Timburr. If we complete field research tasks, we'll be able to encounter Timburr, and that 100% IV is 563. We can also get some Great Balls, some Ultra Balls, and some extra Stardust as well. There's going to be a special Community Day research ticket for $1, where we're going to be able to get some extra encounters with some Timburr and some premium items as well, such as some lucky eggs, some incubators, and maybe even some star pieces too. There's going to be 4-star Gurdurr raids that are going to be happening right at the end of the event. Remember that if you complete this raid, you're probably going to need about 2 to 4 trainers to take this thing down. I must say, it's the strength of these things are sometimes really underrated. You need a few more trainers than just yourself, but if you manage to complete it for a 30-minute time frame in a 300-meter radius, Timburr is going to be spawning all around that gym with also a shiny rate of 1 in 25, which is awesome. Another big feature of this Calm Day is the Legacy move. If you evolve Gurdurr into Conkeldurr before 10 p.m. that day, you're going to be able to get the Legacy Dark type move of Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing deals 65 damage in PvP and in raids. Let's quickly see if this move makes any difference to Conkeldurr at all. In PvP, it definitely does add some coverage, and it almost plays a very similar role to what Machamp does, especially in the Ultra League with its Payback Legacy move moveset, which is of course another dark type move. The main difference between Machamp and Conkeldurr, because a lot of people seem to be confused as what is the difference between these Pokemon, is that Conkeldurr hits a lot harder and it has a much bigger defense in terms of bulk, but it hits slower in comparison to that Machamp. So it kind of evens out, but as a raid attacker as well, this Conkeldurr hits really hard. The move coverage you definitely want to use there is going to be Counter and Dynamic Punch. Do not use that Focus Blast because the Focus Blast takes way too long to charge, and I have to say Conkeldurr is fantastic as a fighting type raid attacker. It's easily in the top 10 fighting types in the game for a raid attacker, and who knows, maybe in the future a Shadow may come out, but I have to say this thing hits like a truck, and it's really useful, especially in that player versus environment scenario. The great thing about Conkeldurr and using that new Legacy move of Brutal Swing, especially in PvP, is that it adds coverage that it didn't really have before. You can easily counter the Psychic types, and especially those Ghost types now, and I'm especially talking about that Giratina. Brutal Swing will really help Conkeldurr really shine in the Ultra League and also in the Master League Premier Cup. Okay, so we have 3 main tips that we're going to touch on really quickly to help everyone maximize on this event. Tip number 1 is definitely going to be to play in a dense area that has lots of stops. It almost has like a rectangular or a circular flow with all those lures kind of popping off on those Pokestops. Guys, it makes a massive difference. When all those Timburr are spawning, you want to be able to spin those stops and replenish balls as you keep on going, because it's so easy to just keep on catching and forget to spin or play in an area when there's no Pokestops. Make sure to do that and get in a nice dense area with a lot of trainers. It makes a really big difference. Tip number 2 is definitely going to be to use Mega Pokemon. Guys, I know that we use this tip a lot, but honestly, after all the complaints about XL Candy and Pokémon Go and the accessibility of it, it's a really good idea to have as many Pokemon Pokemon at Mega Level 3 so you can reel in all of that candy, but especially that XL candy. Of course, Timburr is the Community Day Pokemon, and Timburr before this event and even after this event hardly spawns in the wild. Before this event, I think it was only raid locked and egg locked. In fact, I just realized now, Juzzy has that 100% that he got off a raid like 2 years ago, and he's waited all this time to get that brutal swing on it. But you can see the point here is that to get the XL candy here is vital, because the chance may never come along ever again, and if it does, it's going to be in kind of drips and drabs. So you've got to make sure that you get the mega level Pokemon. The best ones you can use are Mega Blaziken, Mega Medicham, and Mega Lopunny. Tip number 3 is going to be all about Stardust gains. Guys, it really looks like Pokemon Go and the Niantic company is doing away with the quarter egg hatch distance bonus, because it doesn't really incentivize players to play, and it doesn't really sync well in that 3-hour time frame. So it looks like they're really sticking to the XP days and the Stardust days, and it's a great day to do it because every Stardust event is always worth playing in Pokemon Go, because it's arguably the best asset to have in abundance at all times in the game. Because it's 3 times Catch Stardust, remember that it's going to be a 3-hour time frame, so we're going to need at least 6 star pieces running during that entire time. And remember that every Timburr that you catch without a star piece running is going to grant you 300 Stardust per catch, but if you have those star pieces running, it's going to grant you 450 Stardust per catch, and that's without weather boost. If you manage to get cloudy weather, because fighting types are boosted in cloudy weather, you're going to reel in even more than that. So guys, do not sleep on this. Just do the math. If you catch 500, 600, 700 of these Timburr, even without that weather boost, but with those star pieces running, you're going to reel in a ton of Stardust, a super powerful way to maximize this day. This is a great time to mention this tip because almost every Stardust Community Day that comes along, we always do this, is to hatch 12-kilometer eggs and have them lined up in your bag so that they can hatch while those star pieces are running. Just bear in mind that if you do hatch that 12 batch, you're going to get like between 70 and 100,000 Stardust if you're lucky, which is just free, guys. Imagine just adding that to your Stardust total every single time an event like this comes along. Again, really underrated and something people should do almost every single week, building up those eggs to hatch them at the right time. Another great thing to do is that if you guys line up your 7-day catch streak and you catch that 7th-day Pokemon in that time frame with your star piece running, I think the reward is like 9,100 Stardust per catch. So one catch is going to grant you over 30 to 40,000 Stardust just for that one catch, which is again just adding to that total and making life so much easier to get those Stardust gains. And finally, another really great thing to mention is to catch everything in your stack tasks. Remember guys that over every season we get the chance to stack some of these field research tasks, which reward us with Pokemon that grant us extra Stardust per catch, like first stage evolutions and second stage evolutions, and sometimes even some permanently boosted Stardust Pokemon like Combi or something like a Chimecho. And this is a great day to catch all of those tasks on, again with those star pieces running. Sometimes you can accumulate almost 200,000 Stardust just from catching all of those stack tasks. And remember, you can stack up to 100 of them, so it's a great time to do that. Go for it, guys. This is going to be a great day. And also remember that we're currently in the Harvest Festival right now, which of course ends, I think, on Tuesday, next Tuesday at 8 p.m. local time. We have Halloween coming up. It's going to be an incredible time, guys. We're going to break down everything. Stick around, hit that subscribe button, go with us, and we'll see you on the next one, baby.